I must confess to you that I'm very excited to be here with Frederika, our artist, and the rest of the panel. They are also artists, and our beautiful students who have, volunteered to hold up these wonderful paintings by Frederika, and all of you who are here at this lunch hour. We promise that we will wind up at the right time, and we will give you a fantastic time while you're here. Frederika and I have been friends for decades. And I promise you that I'm not going to start talking. In fact, I will ask each of the panelists to introduce themselves, and then Steve will say something about Frederika's paintings. And then we'll take it from there. Yes? So can we begin with Clarice?
Hello, everybody. I'm an artist and author, but to be honest, I'm just a nurse by profession, midwife, and due to circumstances, I went into art, and I went into writing, and even poetry, and I'm meeting Frederika for the first time in person. I've met her through social media. No, Frederika? Anyway, that's in a sense who I am, and I can relate to Frederika in a lot of ways because she lives from her spirit, and I too live from my spirit due to our circumstances. I sign every painting as Craig Vaz. It's my son's name, whom I lost 12 years ago, and he died in his sleep due to an undiagnosed heart condition. And in memory of him, I paint. And I turned into an artist at the age of 47. So like Frederika, I'm self-taught, and we are here, we aspire to inspire others. So in a sense, that's how I am an artist and an author. I do a lot of social work. I do a lot of documentation of Goa. And that's why today I am here in this panel, and I'm delighted to be in this session, trying to showcase Frederika's lovely self-taught work.
Thank you, Clarice. I must confess that Clarice is one of those artists who have inspired me for a long time. In fact, one of her paintings was the central piece in one of our plays. Thank you, Clarice. Can we request Steve? Yes.
Is it working? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'll just keep it short. My name is Stephen Gutkin. I'm not an artist, nor am I an expert on art. I'm a former roving international journalist who is now a businessman. And today, my principal identity this day is being a very close friend of Frederika Menezes.
Thank you very much, Steve. This is Lina.
Hello, everyone. As you noticed, my late entry was because of the situation in Panjim in current days, but we'll get there. I'm so delighted and happy to be with Frederika, Steve, Clarice, and you, Isabella, today. I am an art historian and a curator by profession. So what I do is that I get into the spaces and minds of artists and I work there. And that is the greatest joy of my life. I'm so glad to be able to stand here with these wonderful, spontaneous works that I feel that, should not be differentiated in any way, because an artist is an artist, whoever and wherever they may be, whatever gender, whatever situation. So I'm so glad that we are having this conversation today, and thank you, Frederika.
Thank you so much, Lina. Steve will now tell us something about Frederika's art.
First, let me say a few words about who Frederika is. Frederika is an author, a poet, and an artist. Her poem, The Different Normals, is studied throughout schools of Goa. Another one of her works is Unforgotten, a love story for young adults. She's done a collection of poems called The Portrait, a fantasy novel called The Pepperns and Wars of the Mind, a book of verse for children called Stories in Rhyme. She's also, as you can see, a fine painter and photographer. She paints digitally on a tablet or a phone using a single finger, her ring finger. She takes her photos from a single vantage point, which is her bed in Panjim, next to a window overlooking the river Mandovi. Frederika is the daughter of two physicians. She's the recipient of the Yuva Srujan Puraskar Award for Literature. She has recited her poems in the Goa Legislative Assembly in front of the President of India. She served as an icon for the North Goa district during the 2019 Indian general election. She's given a TED Talk on optimism and determination. She's a tireless advocate for the differently abled. So years ago, when I first met Frederika, I went to her flat in Panjim and asked to see. I had heard about her paintings and I asked to see them, and they were nowhere to be found. I assumed they would be on canvas, or I assumed they would be on some sort of a paper, but they were in a phone or they were in a tablet. And so I decided to write a story about that. And in the story, I quoted Frederika, and she said at that time, she said, quote, "I sit on my bed and dream. I open the tab or cell to my paint and fall in love with unformed ideas. I let nothing and no one disturb me. It takes a lot of patience, passion, and focus to create a painting." And in that same story, I asked the Goan artist Subodh Karkar to comment on Frederika, and his comment was, Frederika is, quote, "a thinking artist." Her paintings' titles include such titles as The Sea Bride, The Gypsy Dancer, The Almost Kiss, The Grieving Madonna, Mother Sea. Today, some of the paintings that you're looking at have names like Daydreaming, Elegance, Miss Perfect, Island of Dreams, The Whisperer. There was one that she did, which is this one, called Carnival. And when I held it up, we were just the other day in her apartment, and her mother, the wonderful Dr. Angela, said, "You know, it's called Carnival, but it's black and white. Where are the colors, right?" And then Frederika and I looked at each other and simultaneously said, "It works." The artist Yolanda de Souza said of Frederika, quote, "She's very intelligent, and what she brings in her work includes that intelligence. It comes out from the titles, and the work itself is very naive, and at the same time, you know, you feel attracted to it, and then you read the title, and you're even more. You get closer to it." So Frederika and I have been very close friends for quite a few years now, supporting each other through thick and thin. We spend hours chatting with each other on WhatsApp, and I just today want to take this moment to express my gratitude for her friendship, which has deeply enriched my life.
And Steve, you don't know about Frederika's painting that I own. It is in my sitting room, and it's called Belle and the Dog. And I am only Isabel. This session of ours is entitled The Different Normals, and I will read Frederika's poem titled The Different Normals. Oh, when you see me, what do you see? A broken, winged, featherless bird, trapped where it is? And what crosses your mind when you hear my unsteady voice speak? Do you try to understand my say, or simply shake your head, waving it away? When I cross your path, unseeing, uncomprehending, hard of hearing, what is your reaction then? Is it pity or indifference? And last, but not the least, when you read these lines, do you think to yourself and say, oh, this cannot be from a hand that's unsteady, from a mind belonging to one of those who aren't normal like me? If that is so, you know nothing of what you need to know about the different normals that make up the world. Frederika Menezes. As you wish. Frederika, when would you like me to read your second poem? Later? Yes. Now? Okay. With pleasure. This beautiful poem is titled Tenderly Beautiful. On the wings of wind, it flew to me, so tenderly beautiful, it wrapped around my being, enveloping me whole. I stood there a long while, mesmerized, lost to time, for my heart glowed like the setting sun on an autumn eve. My soul mirrored the sky, passionate fire, my every breath a falling leaf. I knelt where I stood, embrace within embrace, autumn and summer, united forever. The wings of wind tug at it. I feel it will, of me, let go. I hold it, end to end, fingers tying loose knots around my wrists. I will hold on. It pulls at my being, relentlessly strong, beautifully tender. It steals my senses. And as I lay where I stood, I know I am not myself anymore. I have surrendered. Frederika Menezes. Okay. My dear student volunteers, how kind of you to have stood this long. Can you please sit so you are a little more comfortable? Lina, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, Isabella. I think that because we were all discussing yesterday about the kind of responses we have to Frederika's work. In fact, when I hear her poetry, It's like the words create images, and the images that we see around here, they create poetry. And that's the kind of beautiful relationship that I am personally finding in these, while looking at the photographs, while looking at these beautiful landscapes, and while looking at, while listening to the words. This beautiful interrelationship, Frederika. I have to say that my own favorite was the one with the shadow. The beautiful presence of someone, yet the understanding of an absence as well. I think that so much of Frederika's work reflects a deep understanding of herself, that is a deep understanding of an internal self, and also an appreciation of what is around. And optimism, the word that came up, in her biography. I feel that all of us can really be inspired by those things. Before passing it on to maybe a question to Clarice here, in fact, when I teach, very often when I'm talking to students and young artists and artists in general, one of the things that we always discuss is, what is your truth? When you are able to express your truth in its fullest form, whatever may be the medium or whatever may be, the material that you're using, that truth is communicated to the one that is viewing. And in Indian philosophy, we understand that as rasa, the sharing of a particular emotion from a work. And that is what I would like, all of us to consider today, this sharing of emotion that is coming through from poetry and from the works. And yesterday when we were all, discussing the works, we were talking about these different responses, as I said. And I would like to now, ask Clarice, because you said something beautiful yesterday about this idea of magic that comes from the works, as well as acceptance. So I'd like to pass it on to you too, please.
Well, I do believe that I have walked also in her shoes, for I do have a health issue, and that is the reason I paint for hours and hours every day. So it's like we walk into our story. We are walking into our magical world, which is within us. And it's only there that we find our truth. So I feel so much in common with Frederika, and from that vantage point, we are able to bring out little gems. Like I'm able to write, even having no background in writing or literature, I'm able to form, my words just flow in form of poetry. I'm able to paint like how she does. But here today, it's her day, it's her limelight, but I'm just walking in her shoes. And I do feel that she has gone into this, she has reached that vantage point from inside, bringing out little gems. And that's exactly what we are seeing today, her worthiness brought outside. And that can only come with pure acceptance. I have accepted my condition, and that is how I'm able to do whatever I can do. She has accepted her condition, and that is what we aspire to do, unlike someone who's really studied in the field of art or anything. We are self-taught. So I think that the beauty lies in that.
Frederika, if I may address you and ask a question. I think that your mother has played a really, really important role in your life. I read also in an interview about how it has been that whenever you were at a standstill, your mother would always say that, just go forward. Would you like to maybe share a little bit about how much this influence has brought you to this point?
My mom is a driving force. My dad can do it. And my dad also said to me, you can put your mind to it and you can do it. And then I got to thinking, yeah, I can do it. Why can't I do it? Everybody else is doing it, so why can't I? Why can't I do it too? I mean, I wanted to. I've been painting since I was a kid. My first was a stick figure. You know, I used to love to do those. So, yeah. Mom and Dad, pillars of support.
They're clapping from up there. Can't you hear them? Mom and Dad. Mom is at home. In Panjim. Great. Yes. I'm just wondering if the students have questions.
I'm sure they're inspired.
I'm sure they are.
What I feel in Frederika's work, words and art is her immense capacity to be human. And for me, she shines a light on every one of us who's apparently normal, that we could be human too. And I deeply appreciate the strength of spirit and mind. And that's the inspiration I hope everyone takes back in their own lives, that they could be who they are. And it's beyond form and beyond what we can see. And thank you so much.
Frederika is a TEDx speaker, don't forget. I heard her. Extremely eloquent.
It can be seen on the YouTube if you just Google. Please go. And I just noticed that you're very emotional when you spoke. But I do believe that we are all spirit and we are just in a meat bag here. So she is absolutely all right doing what she does. And she's very courageous. And that's exactly what I felt. Like for me to see my son not breathing on the bed, just opening the door and seeing he wasn't in the room, but his body was there. That's when I realized that we are more than our bodies. We are our spirits. And that is how we can always go down. Our universe is within us. And what we are seeing outside is just a reflection. And so that lovely picture there of the shadow really makes, it's also my favorite. It tells a lovely, lovely story. Besides, I do see a lot of vibrant colors and even proportion, so beautiful. And yes, Frederika, congratulations again.
Steve, no, I want to ask you next, if I may. We're all storytellers, as we decided yesterday. So, Steve, in your long friendship with Frederika, you have been a journalist yourself and a globetrotter and having a kind of fast-paced life. How do you see the kind of relationship with a slower way of looking at things and this relationship with the moment that you might have understood from Frederika's work?
Yeah, as I alluded to earlier, that's one of the main reasons why I am so thrilled about my friendship with Frederika, for that very reason, that it's an anchor for me. And it's after having spent so many years traveling around and covering wars and earthquakes and turmoil with Frederika, I get quiet, I get inspiration, I get support, I get love. So that is really important to me. Let me ask Frederika to comment on, people were talking about your photography. Why did you become a photographer.
I didn't. Oh, I love photography. I love.
She loves photography.
Okay, so when I was a kid, when I was a small child, I had an old camera. I had an old camera that my mom gave me to play with, you know. And I did not realize there was no film inside. I didn't realize it. So I kept clicking photographs. But at the end of the day, there was nothing there. And I, oh, please put the film inside. And the mom said, no, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. So you play with it. So yeah, that got me started thinking, one day I'm going to do this. For real, I'm going to do this for real. And then time goes by and you forget what you think. Eventually it comes true. Because you wish it from your soul, you wish to do what you wanted to do. When you were small, when you were a child, you really wished to do it. So that's what I've done. And I love photography. You know, I love clicking. The sound of the shutter just thrills me. I don't have a camera, I have a phone, but just the sound of it going click. Oh, yes. I got it, you know.
Any other questions?
Any of the students, whatever you are holding in your hand, would you like to ask any question about it? You turn and look at it. Or any other painting.
In the meantime, I have a question for Frederika. Have you also used AI now?
Yeah, I think it's a little too dangerous to use AI.
Can we buy any of these paintings?
You want to buy these? Seriously?
I think
Sure
the
you
answer
can.
is yes, you can. Well, it's not gonna be cheap.
We ain't cheap.
I'd like to know the name of this lovely student.
She'd like to know your names.
All you beautiful girls.
Just say your name.
My name is Anvika.
My name is Vaishnavi.
My name is Saloni.
Saloni, that's a nice name.
My name is Hiba Khan. I'm Supriya.
I'm Misbah.
I'm Mercy. I'm Rekha.
I am Nidhi.
Nice to meet you guys.
Isabella, what about you? In your relationship with her work as well as her poetry, would you like to comment some more?
We have about 45 minutes. Can I speak? I'll just say one thing, that I have a foot in theatre. And years and years and years ago, we performed one of Frederika's poems by the riverfront. And I can assure you that it was extremely beautiful and poetic. Frederika and I have been friends for a long time. I've read her books, I read her poetry. I am not acquainted with her visual work, I confess, so I'm extremely thankful to be part of this panel today. Thank you, Frederika.
One of the things that that we were also talking about, what I was feeling, what I commented right now also, about this connection with the moment. And that one click or those singular movements of a finger, they are what have created all these, beautiful pieces of art. I would like to ask you all in the audience, what is your favorite? And if you were to put a word to your response, what would it be?
Yesterday, it was day before yesterday, we attended the writers' meet, and post the meet, we were putting Frederika into the van, and she looked up and she saw the moon. I can see in her paintings, she has seen beauty in her surroundings. She appreciates the person sitting next to her, she appreciates the person sitting in front of her. I think we are moving a bit too fast. We have to appreciate in our surroundings. We see the sunset every day, but we never appreciate it. We see the sky, the moon every day, but we don't appreciate it now. I think Frederika has brought it out. And I think she has that beauty in everything that she sees. Thank you, Frederika, for
Vivek, since you're here, we'd love for you to say a few words.
Thank you so much. I'm really moved by Frederika's work. I understand, of course, artists come from everywhere. They don't always come from art schools, and it is up to us to recognize the artist. And to me, when I saw the photo, I'm very grateful to Steve and Frederika for reaching out to me and saying, take a look at these photographs, take a look at the paintings. And when I looked at the paintings the first time, I was very impressed by a number of them, and I said that this is definitely an artist. And I overlooked the photographs a little bit. And then Steve and Frederika urged me to take a look at the photographs again. And then I realized, what exactly we're seeing is in the 365-day, 24-hour cycle of barrage of things happening to us, Frederika does again and again put her finger exactly on the moment of light, the moment of inspiration, the moment of composition, all these things that define art. So it's a terrific thing to recognize an artist among us, and an artist of real caliber who can touch people. So thank you very much, Frederika, for this. It's been an amazing privilege to get to know you as an artist. So a big hand really for Frederika, the artist.
Frederika, is there anything that you would like to say to so many young students who are here? I'm delighted to see them for all the sessions. They're so happy to be here, and I've met them outside. And believe you me, they are not bored. They're very excited with what they have been hearing and seeing. Is there anything you would like to tell them, Frederika?
Yeah, follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams.
Yes. And don't give up.
Don't give up.
Never give up.
Never give up. Thank you. Unless anybody else has a question or a comment. Yes, Maria?
Hello. Yeah. I happen to love color. I happen to love splashes of color, oranges and reds and blues and greens. You too. All right. So I'm looking at all these and I say, I want this one and that one and this one and that one. Yeah, you know how much I love color. Okay, I've got one of Clarice's paintings and I'm going to have more. So my attention was drawn to this one first because it's so colorful. Okay, and to this one here. But then, I was mesmerized when I saw this one, which is in black and white, and grey. But there's that saucy look there, can you see? I find it, it's amazing, that saucy look. And it reminds me of Frederika. It's like a self-portrait. Yeah? There is that look, But if you were to ask me which one you want, one painting, I've already booked this one. The Whisperer. So if anybody else wants that painting, my heartfelt sympathies, you can't have it. Okay? So, yeah.
Mario, one painting you're not going to get is Belle and the Dog. It's mine.
Okay.
Thank you,
Anyone
everyone.
else?
Thank you very much, Frederika. We were honored and privileged to be part of this session. Thank you, all the panelists. Thank you, students. Thank you, all of you who have been here and who have given energy to this beautiful session. Thank you, and good appetite.
Thank you.